So on my last video blog, we were talking about technical challenges that we wanted to solve with AccountTECH before we took it to the web. So in our 2017-2018 replatforming of AccountTECH into our new version, we call it Darwin. One of the other complicated technical challenges that we wanted to solve was the issue of customizing feeds. So we know that every real estate company has their favorite software programs, or their agents have their favorite software programs, and they want to stay with them, right? So you might have .loop or app files or SkySlope for your transaction management, or you might have eRelo, or you might have testimonial tree, or you might have, there's so many different software programs and MLSs that you want to have AccountTECH be integrated with, and AccountTECH pulls from all these different software programs and merges all the data together. The challenge is that for every different software program that we integrate with, they all have slightly different data than we do. So we had to come up with a simple way to map the data that, let's say, SkySlope has, or AdWorks has, map that to AccountTECH using their field names and tying in how they map to our field names. So that was one piece of it, that we needed to develop a user interface that you could set up those kind of maps, or we could set up those kind of maps without always having to involve the programmers to do it all line by code. But the other big piece of it is every customer has a slightly different idea about how the data that they're getting from their software programs, their other software programs they use that are not AccountTECH, but they want to feed into AccountTECH, they got different ideas about how that data should come in. So let's say when data's coming in from MLS, one company might say, look, if the MLS says it's contingent, I want you to call this status active. But the next company might say, well, if my MLS says that there's a contingent deal in there, or it's a pending deal taking backup offers, I want you to bring that into our system and call it pending. So every company that we work with has a different ideas, or may have different ideas, about when the data is coming from other software programs and feeding into AccountTECH. How do you want to translate the data? Because remember, the data that we pull in from these other software programs and we pull in from the MLS and we merge with the AccountTECH data, we're then taking that data and pushing it out to Dash, or pushing it out to your franchise. So you want to be in control of the data that pushes out to your franchise, and everybody has a different idea about what they do or don't want to go to their franchise. So this challenge of making feeds customizable is another one of the really complex technical challenges that we decided we need to solve in AccountTECH, and we have, before we worry about moving AccountTECH software to the web.